Good morning.
Morning.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Fine, thank you.
Yeah. Happy Friday, right?
That's
Let me close a few windows here. I don't think I need that. And I don't need that right now. Okay.
Fantastic.
Yay, we made it. We're here. All right. So it's Friday morning, and we're talking about drawing today. And I've got a couple of things I want to show you, but also I wanted to go over some of the drawings that you guys have submitted for, this girl with the pearl earring, and talk to you a little bit about that. Let's see. All right. So let's see if we can get rocking and rolling here. Okay. Wow, all of a sudden we're like up to 15 people. Jeez. So how's everybody doing out there?
Very well.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. Anybody been following the news and all that stuff?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you couldn't help it.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody ready to go back outside and go get your tattoos and
Yeah.
go to the gym, stuff like that?
Nah.
Well, we're still restricted till June 12th. That hadn't
Right.
changed.
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah.
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 I kind
So
of
we'll have to delay our tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm having a hard time hearing you, Betty. Maybe it's me. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it was my fault. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna start off. We're gonna start off looking at some of the things you guys submitted. Hi, Claudia. How you doing?
Just fine, thank you.
Okay. And you guys submitted some really good stuff.
I don't mute.
Now, the one thing I will say, okay, what I didn't see that I was kind of expecting and hoping for was some of you, well, everybody kind of just went with, the original image and just kind of did that. Okay, now that's not what we wanted to see. What do you guys see?
A picture of the girl with the pearl earring.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
And then down the side are more pictures.
Right, okay. That's what you're supposed to be seeing. Yeah, these other windows came up in front of it for me. So I had to kind of dig back through there. Okay. So
You started with one yesterday, but we went off the air.
right. Yeah. We're gonna go back and we're gonna talk
Okay.
more about each of these, okay?
Okay.
Now, I have this image, but the problem is I have no idea who sent it to me.
Oh, I did. This is Wanda. I sent it to you.
Oh, you sent it to me? Okay, because
Yes.
somehow, let's change the name on that. Let's see if it will let us. Let's see, file, edit. Okay.
That is very good.
Anyway, I'll remember it's yours and I'll change the name on it. That way I know who did it. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's a really nice drawing. It is.
Thank you.
Okay. And you even seem to kind of draw in a frame around it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did that because I didn't want to do the background so dark. I wanted it to, so.
Okay. Could you not have just left the paper white?
I thought framing it would make it look nice.
Well, okay. All right. Because usually what you do with a drawing, usually when you frame or mat drawings, you don't see the whole drawing anyway. You're matting out part of it, and it kind of cleans up the edges and stuff. So it's not really necessary to put a frame around it. But it's nice that you did. you know?
Well, this is my very first drawing I've ever done.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my word.
Well,
That's
you,
fantastic.
you did a great job for your
Thank
first
you.
drawing. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Now, the one thing I would say to you, you know,
Okay.
if you look at the original and you look at your drawing, okay, you didn't really follow the same value structure. And what I mean by that, the darks and the lights don't tend to be, you know, comparable. Like, for example, you've made this area in here kind of a little bit dark, but it's really kind of what we would call a mid-tone, right? It's not really all that dark. It's not really all that light. And if you compare that to the original, this is like one of the darkest areas of the drawing. Okay. And so paying attention to those value structures will begin to give you the same effect as what you're drawing, right? So you have to observe, you know, what you're seeing and try to follow that. Okay. Now, if you had made that really dark, what would have happened is that area right in there would have sunk back, you know, and looked, you know, like it was moving away from you. Okay. And that would have brought the side of the face and the head and everything forward, right? Making it look closer to you. And so it looks a little flat kind of in here. Okay. And my suggestion would be push your darks, you know, right in here. Okay. You know, that's where you see the darkest areas, right? Here, and then down on the back side of the shoulder gets pretty dark, right? And you've got some value on the side of the face right here, and it seems to fall in line with the rest of the cast shadows, you know, on the head, you know, with the wrap and things. So, you know, that works. I think you could have gone further, maybe made it a little bit darker on the skin tones and in this section, you know, of the wrap around her head. And again, that would have helped you, again, make that look rounder and make it feel like it's falling back into the shadow. Okay?
Okay. I had sent you two because I didn't see your email until after I had done the first one. And so then I did this one. But I sent you one of the original artist picture. I copied, you know, I drew that one. And I think I made the back we were talking about the darkening it up. I made that darker. I don't see it on the thing here.
Let's scroll down here. If you sent it to me, Naomi, Rebecca, no,
maybe
not that I
higher?
recognized. Okay. Now
Yeah, I don't see it. Okay.
Yeah, I got one from Bernice. I got a drawing from Betty, Beverly, Jean, John, June, Lawrence, Naomi, and Rebecca.
Okay. It must didn't come. But this is what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's very fine.
Yeah, it is. I would love to have that if you want to try to resend it to me.
Okay. I will.
Now you're receiving my emails, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So then just do a reply to one of those and attach that.
Okay.
And send it back to me, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'd love to see it. Okay.
Charles, on YouTube, there is an artist lady that does a lesson on this particular painting.
Oh, does she?
Yes, it's wonderful. But the model that you have us draw is different than the original painting.
Right. Yeah. Well, now the model that we used was actually an actress, Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
In the movie Girl with the Pearl Earring. And so the actual photograph that I sent everybody was really, it was a still out of that movie. Okay. And rather than just having you copy Vermeer's painting, I thought it was a better idea to have you sort of interpret it, you know, for yourselves, you know, from that reference material. Okay. Which is why I did it that way. I thought about sending you Vermeer's painting, but then you're just sort of, kind of following the painting. And one of the things that I wanted you guys to do was take a little bit of artistic license and liberty and, do something, different with this, okay? Because I didn't want you to feel like you're stuck with, just copying the painting, okay? So moving on.
Charles, this is Claudia.
Yeah.
When you say do something different without losing the image itself,
Yeah.
What you mean? Change the clothes? Change?
Yeah, you change the clothes. You could have replaced her face with your face. Lots of people have done that. You could have, you could have made her a whole totally different personality. Yeah,
So then what?
The idea is have fun with it. Don't.
I definitely, this is Elsie.
Right.
I definitely took some liberties. I took my wig head and cut it in half. And I didn't send you a picture of it yet because something came up this week. But I definitely took liberties.
Okay, so you've got a work in progress, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. And you're gonna
Charles,
share that.
get my strange blue one. Really strange.
I think I did. Yeah.
That was a liberty.
That was a liberty. Okay. Yeah. You just worked at the different colors, but still in value. I remember seeing that one. I wonder if I got that in the mix. Anyway, I'm going to move on down the line here because these things go fast. This is a drawing sent in by Bernice. Now, Bernice, it's a little fuzzy. Are you there? Let's see. Bernice, I don't see her. Yeah, okay. Evidently she's. And we've got some names I haven't seen here before too. Wow, okay. At any rate, yeah. All right, so we'll move on. Betty, I know you're here. So there's your version of it. And
Nice.
again, now, is this graphite or is this charcoal?
It's graphite.
Is it
And I know when you originally assigned this, you said we could do, I've got the impression if we wanted to do more of a rendering of the drawing of the painting itself, we could do that. And then Monday, it seemed like we're supposed to abstract it more. But when I originally looked at it, my main thing is I'm trying to get the values down. So I thought this would be a good chance to work on values,
right?
Which is really what I did.
Yeah. And, we've talked a lot about values. I've talked a lot in particular, like with Eloise and generally, everybody about this idea of turning form, which is really what values are really all about, is how do you make something look like it actually moves around a shape, right? So everything's not equal distance from you on the page. We all know it's a two-dimensional drawing. Now, in this particular case, you've got some things in here that are working pretty nicely, like the forest shadow right through here, and the shadow up the head wrap, the turban, whatever you want to call it. And so that divides the light side of the face to the dark side, okay? Now, the one thing I would say, though, in this drawing is that this eye right over here,
Yes.
I would suggest that you take that and just soften it back a little bit, because right now it's the same value structure as the eye that's closer to you, and it's just as sharp. And you see how it kind of gives this feeling of, the facial plane being flat, that one is just as close to you as the other. And again, just take it, don't go back and like erase it or anything like that. Just take like your finger, or you could take a stump and just softly, just soften it just a little bit. And I think you'll find that all of a sudden it will begin to move away from you, kind of the way that the outline and the edge of the face does, right? I mean,
Right.
you've done that really right along this edge of the face. You could have easily made that too dark and made it as strong as this, but see, the contrast tells you that moves around, right? Except to where you get right here. And even on the mouth, see, the mouth works pretty well. This side of the mouth, because you have darker values and sharper line, seems to be closer to us than the corner of the mouth over there. It seems to fade back and move just a little bit, right? So just little touches like that make, a big difference as far as whether or not, this looks like a flattened surface or whether it actually turns. And again, for the most part, most of the form itself turns really nicely. It's just kind of right in there in the eye socket that doesn't seem to quite work as well. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Moving down. Now, we talked about this piece right here last week briefly, and Beverly, can you talk?
Here. I'm here.
Okay, yeah. Okay, now you said that you had done this some time ago, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
From the original Vermeer painting.
Right, yeah, and it looks more like the character that, Vermeer painted than Scarlett Johansson, and that's fine. But I wanted to point out, and I know that this is a painting versus a drawing, okay? But she did some things that worked, really pretty well in this particular edition of this painting. Again, if you squint your eye down at this, it seems like the highest contrast in the painting is right in this area, right around the cheekbone and the eye to the light, right? And that tells you that the form is turning away from the light right there. And that's what we call a core shadow right in here. And, she stated it, really nicely. And then even though the neck and everything else here is in shadow, notice how it's not as dark as right here at the core, right? It gets a little bit lighter again, but it never gets as light as anything on the light side of the face, right? So separating out those values is really important. It doesn't matter whether you're painting or whether you're drawing, it's equally important. You have to pay attention to the value, okay? Then we have Eloise, okay? Now, Eloise, you took a little, now is this acrylic or is this oil or watercolor? It looks almost like a watercolor to me.
It's oil on a sheet of paper, and it's supposed to be the face of my cousin.
Okay, yeah, I mean, the face definitely changed, and it's a really striking, beautiful face, and you've kept it very soft, and it's a nice little painting. It really is. You've done a nice job at that. Now the lighting, on this face is a little bit different than what the original was, and you've got this side of the face falling back into shadow a little bit, and it seems like more of the light is hitting on this side, though there's not a lot of bright light on the face itself anywhere along the line, but it's a nice it's a nice rendering, and it's got a really nice feel to it. The one thing I would say is if you're gonna lower the light on the face, then maybe, well, okay, it seems like you're keeping a lot of light on the top of the head here. Yeah. Somewhere in here in this cloth, I'd kind of like to see, it definitely be light in one area clearly and shadow in another. And it kind of does it, but not much. Is
The
somebody,
light, as you say, was coming from another direction on the picture that I used, so I tried to alter it a little bit, and I
right?
didn't, so it looks confused.
Yeah, yeah. It's like right in here, kind of at the corner, you know, near the edge of the face. You've got that light down there. It should probably be in that mid-tone value. Okay. I have to ask, is somebody playing a didgeridoo or something? I keep hearing this background.
Yeah, it's loud.
It is loud.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit of a
Okay.
no. Okay. Anyhow, let's see. Maybe I can. I'm going to mute everybody, and then we'll do the mute unmute thing. I'm going to have to stop the share just for a second. Okay, and let's mute everybody. Okay. Okay, great. All right. Good. Hey, it's quiet. Yay. All right, let's go back to it. Okay, good. So anyway, you know, it's a really, really lovely painting. And, you know, other than, you know, just those little touches right in there, I wouldn't really do anything else to it. Are you planning on doing anything more to it, Eloise? She's muted now. Let me unmute her.
Okay. No, I was just trying to complete the assignment.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how big is this?
It's on my tablet, so I guess about 8.5 by 11.
Oh, it's small. Okay. Okay. It looked like it might be a little bit bigger piece. You know, I like, again, you know, the way that the paint went down. It's got a nice surface to it. There's nice color. It's a very soft feeling painting. So, you know, you got a nice effect, you know, with that.
Thank you.
So, okay. Let's move on down. We got Jean. Now, Jean, let's unmute you. Okay, can you talk to me, Jean?
Some pastel pencils. I did not have the regular drawing pencils.
Uh-huh.
And that's done with a pastel pencil.
Okay. Now, when you're saying pastel, it looks like it's almost like on canvas.
It is on a canvas board that I ran out of some paper. So I put it on a canvas board, a little small, maybe 9 by 11 canvas board.
Okay. Now, the pastels that you were using, are those like what we call hard pastels, or are they the oil?
It was a pencil, and whatever was in the pencil.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't. But it felt like a pretty hard one.
Okay.
You know, in there.
Yeah, because it almost looks like an oil pastel to me.
No, the oil it's not. It's a regular dry hard pastel, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what did you think about working with those?
Well, I don't think too much of doing the whole piece with it, but and I didn't really get it completed because the hairline, I didn't put the fabric across, you know, to finish the fabric down. I was trying so hard to get the planes to make the head go round.
Right.
Yeah. With the light and all that.
Well, if
you said send it in complete, which I did. I haven't finished it.
Yeah.
To do the face, I wasn't really concerned with the headband, you know, pulling it down across her head.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it's a good start, you know, and if you wanted to go further with it, you could. You know, if you squint your eye down and you look at where the light and the shadow and the midtones and things fall, I mean, it feels like it's got some dimension and some form to it. So
that's really what I was after. I was trying to
And so for
I
that,
didn't complete the upper part of the ear. It usually comes about the middle of the eye. I didn't complete that. I was still playing with it, and I just figured so I could get it in there so you'd have time to look at it that far, because I was really mostly interested in getting where I have the difficulty in the planes.
yeah. Well, again, squinting your eye down and looking at it, it feels like it's, got some dimension to it, like it's actually moving around the form.
Yeah.
And so for that part, you were successful. Okay. I would kind of make the same comment that I did with Betty. And it's like just softening that eye just a little bit, could again help push that back a little bit. It wants to move forward. And I know that in looking at the actual photograph, that eye does get really dark, like right in there. But you got to kind of make a choice about that and just push it back so that it moves back around a little bit. You also did is this charcoal?
No, that's pastel. I didn't have charcoal either. That's pure. That's a soft pastel.
Oh, okay. Now this is on a piece of, it looks like paper. Yeah. Let's see if we can blow that up a little bit. Yeah, because it looks, the texture of it almost looks like a watercolor paper.
That's what it was.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now again, squinting your eye down, taking just a look at whether or not the form turns, around the face. It's getting close, it does. You could, and it does this somewhat, it gets a little bit lighter in here, but see the value from here all the way back to the ear is kind of the same. And from here, I'd let that stay as dark as it is. But again, as it moves back toward the ear, let it just get it a little bit lighter, and that's going to help you just bring that around and make it feel like it's an actual dimensional object. Okay. All right. John. Okay. You there, John? See if we can.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. Good. So now, is this watercolor?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Now, yeah, you had sent me you'd sent me a couple.
Yes, I said you're right. Three of them. One was, this was one was what I call the Bizarro painting, and all blue, just values, and then one was in pencil. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have those in the mix today. I'm gonna have to go back and find them. And then we'll try to go over them a little bit later, maybe next week or, sometime like on Monday in looking at them. But in looking at this, you've darkened down the value, on this side of the face, particularly up here in the top of like the forehead area and stuff. And so what ends up happening is it almost looks like the lighting is coming more from the bottom. Correct. Right.
Yeah.
I really had a problem with the values on the looking at it the right side and my light.
Mm-hmm.
See, I needed more value, but I couldn't quite get it the way I wanted it.
Yeah.
Like too much of a big white streak.
Right. Well, my suggestion would be this. Okay, since it is watercolor and it's done on a piece of watercolor paper, you can take and you can wet this area right in here. And just soften that, lift it back a little bit,
Okay. Yep.
Just with straight water.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, so just, wet it, let it sit there for a minute, and then, lift it back a little bit. So again, your stronger darks, are really over, on the right-hand side of the face, and the bridge of the nose. Because if you squint your eye down, like right in here, you know, it's as dark as some of the cast shadows. Okay.
Well, when I looked at it, to me, the equal darks were along the bridge of the nose and the back of the neck there. To me, were the equal darks.
Yeah. Well, it's like the bridge of the nose, like right here at the cheekbone, and then the darkest dark of the whole image was really like right in the eye, on this eye in particular, and then right behind.
Right.
You know, but you know, you just kind of worked on the surface of the face.
Right. Do you think it's worth going back and adding background dark,
Sure.
or just leaving it as is?
Well, I don't think you need to have the background in there. You've got the pencil line, and it's actually kind of nice not having it all finished off. But again,
I sort of like that, and I like the little bit of the little bit of dark I got above the ear and the earrings. I mean, it's sort of a different little, almost a focal first.
Yeah. Again, you know, the only thing I would do with this is I would just soften, you know, like this area here and maybe the outline of the face. Just take it, kind of lift it back a little bit.
Right.
And then I think it will turn more for you. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Then we have June. And June, I think we talked about this a little bit last week, but it's like the center line of your face doesn't seem to really follow the idea that the head is turned. It's like you made this kind of straight up and down, and you got to think of it as a curve. The center line of the face isn't halfway between this edge of the face and this edge of the face. It because it's turned, it's really about maybe 1/3 of the way across, and then you got about 2/3 from the center line over to the ear, and that's going to help you make it feel like it's actually turning. Okay. Are you there? Okay, maybe not. All right. I know she was. Okay. And then let's see. We got this is Lawrence. So Lawrence, how you doing this morning? Okay. Is this a close-up?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. Was there more to this drawing?
No, that's the size I drew it.
Oh, okay. All right. So you didn't do like the top of the head and things like that?
No, I just wanted to work on the eyes.
Okay. Yeah. So you recropped it, and you got a nice feel for the eyes. You know, you've got some feeling of the turning going on the form, so it's not really flat. So that's, you know, it's a nice soft drawing. And then you also sent this one in, and this is kind of like just a line drawing. And it's almost like a preliminary for adding color to. Is that kind of what you had intended, or?
Well, I thought about maybe watercolor, and then I decided just leave it alone.
Okay, yeah. Well, with an outline drawing like that, it almost, you know, Picasso did that a lot of times, and a lot of modern artists have treated things this way, and it has a tendency to make the drawing sort of abstract and flat because there's no variation in the line, and so it does kind of flatten the form. You know, you could add color to this, and it could be an interesting painting. If you're going to leave it as a drawing, then think again about the quality of the line and the value of the line. Does it, even if it's going to remain a line drawing, you know, the things over here in the shadow could be bolder and darker. The outlines on the face could be, you know, somewhat less. Okay. All right. We're down to about 5 minutes, so I want to kind of move on real quick. This is Naomi's, and she sent this in to me, and this is a charcoal drawing. Are you there, Naomi? Let's see, unmute. Naomi. Talk to me. I can't.
Okay. Am I okay?
Yeah. Okay.
You
I
can
can
hear me?
now I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Okay. So this is this charcoal?
Yes. I
Okay.
think it's charcoal on newsprint.
Okay. Yeah.
But I realized I didn't spend enough time on it. I really didn't.
Why?
Why?
No. I mean, why do you think you didn't spend enough time on it?
Oh, because the white, and I see what's wrong. The white is not shaded enough. The value isn't good on the cheeks.
Okay.
Very bad.
Well, can I disagree with you?
Yeah. And you know what? I didn't see that it was a scarf. I thought it was her hair on the side. Is that a scarf or hair hanging down?
It's part of the wrap.
I didn't see that. I thought it was hair.
I
Isn't
see.
that mine?
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is,
yeah,
if you didn't look at the original, reference, the drawing, and you just looked at the quality of the drawing itself, it's really kind of a nice drawing.
But
and
you don't think the white? I think the white is.
It gets a little distracting. You could have,
yes.
You could have done that a little bit better, because it looks kind of flat the way you laid it in,
right?
And you didn't really follow the forms or the shapes, and that would really kind of be my only real criticism. Now, what I would say, and I want everybody to kind of pay attention to here, is that, even though this is kind of a quick gestural drawing, this side of the face has gotten very soft, and this side has gotten sharper, and so it pulls that side of the face closer to us and moves that part back. And a lot of people, in looking at some of these drawings, was kind of struggling with that. They turned the form on the face, but then they did that eye, and it flattened everything out. And in your particular case, it actually works really well. Okay. So I think it's a nice drawing. Okay.
Well, thanks. I'm enjoying this. I like everybody doing the same. It's fun to see how everybody interprets it. I really enjoy this.
Okay. Well, let me get on, because we got one more to talk about. This is Rebecca Pickney, and she just sent this to me this morning. So Rebecca, this looks like graphite, right? Let's see if she's around. Rebecca, where are you?
Hello.
Oh, okay, there you are. Okay, so this is graphite, right?
Yes, and I wanted to ask you, I'm going to finally go to the art store. I don't have any drawing pencils. What would you recommend?
Getting some soft drawing pencils, like 6B to 9B.
Okay.
Okay. If you're going to use graphite, otherwise get some charcoal or Conte or something like that, and get newsprint or some kind of drawing paper that you can draw on for this.
Okay. All right.
So let me. We have less than a minute, and I have some things that I want to share with you, and I'll probably end up sharing them with you this afternoon during the share. Okay, because I don't think we're going to have time. But I've been going to some drawing sites, and I have a list of them that I want to give you guys, and it's for figure drawing. And so basically it's like a live figure session that's online, and you have a model, and you can set up the time from doing gesture poses of about a minute to long poses of about 20 minutes each. And, if you want to work on your skills as far as, drawing the human figure or capturing movement, things like that, these could be really useful, during this time period, since you don't want to pack up and, go to a class. Okay. So when I come back we'll be back at 1 o'clock today. We will, at that point, I'll go over that stuff. And I also want to talk to you about 2 different artists and show you their work and talk about, the quality of their drawing and painting. And particularly since both of these are figurative artists, about, understanding, forms and those basic principles of value and